If you guys have worked with computers long enough, you've probably seen a device similar to this. This is what we consider an uninterruptible power supply, or UPS. Well, today I'm going to give you a reason why I think preppers should at least have one of these somewhere in their home, plugged in and running devices. So let's check it out. Now, along with long-term disasters and long-term shortages or power outages, one of the things we need to think about as preppers is being prepared for the small stuff. You know, there's always that hour-long power outage that just happens in the middle of a freak snowstorm or a rainstorm or even a car wreck. We had a huge power outage here in town many years ago when a car crashed into a telephone pole at over 100 miles an hour. So something like this is good for a short-term outage. One of the things I use this for, and this is actually what this is going to be used for, is my ham radio gear. You have a absolute pure sine wave inverter, you know, so you're not going to be damaging any electronics. I can plug in my stuff to this and know that it's going to be fine. Yeah, I could probably run it on solar and run the panel outside and all that, and I do still have that option. You know, get rid of the power supplies and just connect it to a battery. But for my uses where I have my radios by my computer desk, it's a lot easier to have this there. So when I'm talking away on the radio and the power goes out, I can still keep talking. So that's actually this destination for where this is going to go. It's going to go under my desk where my ham radios get all plugged in. And I definitely think it's something that's handy to have for your short-term preparedness. Now, no, this isn't going to power stuff for, you know, extreme long periods of time, especially if you plug in 5 or 6 computers into it. This is a 900 watt 1500 volt intelligent LCD battery backup and surge protector. It is an uninterruptible power supply, and like I said, most people use these for their computers. So when the power goes out, you have enough time to shut down, save your documents and all that, and that's great too. But it's also handy for when the power's out for a long period of time. You can shut off your computer and go, oh shoot, what was that manual that I never printed when I meant to? Plug everything back in, turn this on, and do that. So it does have a place, I think, in a prepper's world. The reason I'm showing it today is because I've seen people take these and use them for ham radio in the past, and I've also seen people take these and connect them to 12-volt batteries. We'll get into the power source and the battery inside here in a second. You can turn off that annoying beeper, and this actually has a function where you can turn that beeper off by just pushing the button once, and when the power's out, it will stop beeping. You can turn off that beeper, and you can connect this to a regular deep cycle battery and have a power supply, you know, a nice clean power supply. If you're using a power supply, you have a way to power it. Now, for me mostly, I probably wouldn't bring along something like this. I would probably just bring a battery, but it's just an idea to have. And again, many people would not think of this as a prepper item, but being that it has so many uses, you can even keep the lights on after a power outage. You know, if you have, say, a lamp in your living room that you keep on all the time, and when the power goes out, that can keep it on. So it's definitely a handy thing, and with 900 watts and 1500 volt amps, you're looking at a good long time. We are going to test it. I'm going to show you how it works. I mean, I'm going to plug a fan into it. Of course, this can power way more than just a fan. But you will notice that when I shut the power off back there, this thing beeps, but it still powers. Now it does it does regulate your power as well, so whatever's coming out of your thing is coming out there. It shows you your load level. There's like a little balance beam there. You can't really see it up close. We'll get close to it. Shows you your battery level, and it shows you right now that it's plugged in. You see the plug up there? I'm going to zoom in and let you see it up close. So that's a good kind of close-up shot. I just wanted to zoom in and let you see the display. And the display will be lit while this is on. To turn this off, you're going to push and hold the button, and I'll show you what that looks like when I push and hold it. It will still be a display there. It will still charge the battery. Everything will still be going, but the light won't be on. So let's turn the light back on. There you go. Now I'm going to show you really quick. We're going to turn off the top light. I do have ample lights on the sides here, so we're going to turn off the top light. Hear it beep. See there's 0 volts coming in, but you're still getting 119 volts output there. Your battery level is showing 100% now. There's its beep. Now if we want to silence that, just push and hold it, and that should silence it. We don't have anything plugged in, so there's no load level. Let's put it back on. And there we go. You're back plugged in again with the power. So let me get something to plug in on this and show you that it will keep running and keep your devices running when the power goes out. Alright, so I have two things that I'm going to plug in here to show you how this works. But I wanted to explain the stuff on the back first. Now, a lot of folks will plug in their phone lines into this, and what that will provide is protection for your phone from the outlet if there's a spike or anything. Really not used all that much anymore, let's face it. Very few people have landlines. I actually do for emergency preparedness aspect of things because the landlines tend to work a whole lot longer than the cell phone towers, but I'm sure that will change eventually. Over here you have a plug to control, to be able to view your information over the internet. You can plug that into your computer. It does come with a plug here. And with the supplied software, you can view the status of the battery bank either online or on your computer. Over here you have your breaker, so if it trips the breaker, you just push that in and you're good to go. And all the way over here are your battery surge protected. So these are battery protected and surge protected outlets, and they give you 4. It's a good amount. So those will keep the power on when the power goes off. On this side you only have surge protected. Good use for those is stuff you don't really need in an emergency. Let's say you have a desk lamp and you want to plug that in, or you have something that isn't all that important, a charger for your cell phone, something like that. You can use these surge protected outlets, but the white ones will not power your device when the device dies, when the power goes off. This will power it on this side all the way through. So I got 2 examples here, so you can kind of see that this thing does work after the power goes out. We're going to plug them in, and we're going to flip this around, of course, and then we're going to simulate a power outage. I'm going to plug this in here. That's my fan. That's this fan over here. And this, I reviewed this a long time ago. This is a little LED light with a string, and it is an a USB plug. I just put an adapter on the end to plug it in to show you how it would work. Let's just hope it fits. There we go. Put it on the bottom. Alright, there we go. And that's how you turn it on. You tap the front on and off. So what I'm going to do is we're going to turn this around, turn these on, and we're going to simulate a power outage and show you how well this thing works. Now you will notice that I have the fan turned this way so it doesn't blow over the camera, but you can hear it running. I just don't want it to make wind noise on the camera. And I have the light on up here. And as you can tell, we're charging our battery. No load yet because nothing's really drawn on it. We're getting our input from the power. There's our little plug that tells us that. And that's how much output we're getting AC. So I'm going to simulate the power outage now. We're going to turn off the top light. And you'll hear it beep, and we'll see if that stuff stays on. There you go. Now I did notice a drop in the fan speed. Did notice that. However, the load is barely anything there. There's hardly any load at all on it. But the fan is still running, but I did notice that it dropped in speed a little bit. You are still getting 120 volts AC. Your battery level is now showing at 100%. And again, you're getting nothing on the input there, on the volts AC. Now let's turn it back on and see if that fan speeds up a little bit. I'll be real quiet. Yep. So the fan runs a little bit faster on AC power, of course. But the fact of the matter is the fan still runs. And that's an electric motor. You know, it's not electronics. You notice this didn't flicker at all, no matter what. So definitely pleased with it. We are going to plug it in underneath the ham radio desk and get all of my important ham radio stuff plugged in there on the side that has the power backup outlets, and we'll see how it works. Now, as far as RF generating, I'm not sure if this generates a lot of RF. So for your HF rigs, that's something you're going to have to test for yourself. I do not have my HF rig plugged into a power outlet. It is direct to a battery because I'd like the cleaner kind of away from all the house AC output. So for that, you're going to have to figure it out yourself and try it out yourself. However, if you're looking to power anything, it doesn't just have to be a computer. I mean, this could be anything. This could be your living room lighting, that you were able to hide this somewhere and run the plugs to it. And when the power goes out, hey, your TV and your lights and your cable box still work. Something as simple as that is a whole lot less stressful on people who aren't prepared for emergencies, like maybe your kids or your spouse. And you can keep yourself going and going good. So that is the SKE Smart Key Energy 1500 volt amp 900 watt intelligent battery backup. And as far as preppers go, this is something I'd say would be more of an advanced prep down the road. Maybe you want to pick something up like this. It's definitely not a immediate purchase, you know, if you're brand new to prepping. But if you haven't thought about having something like this lying around, this could really come in handy. You could really save your butt and a pinch. So it's definitely something to think about down the road. Even for a charging station, if you want to charge up your stuff, something like that, have everything charged up and running, and your chargers don't quit after the power goes out. That's kind of handy too. Yes, there are alternatives, but this is a much less expensive alternative than, say, a power station and solar panels. This runs about $155 or $154.90, I believe. The link will take you to my Amazon store. It is in there, so you can check it out if I've forgotten any of the specs. The weight on it is 28.1 pounds, kind of heavy. The dimensions are 162 inches by 58 inches by 89 inches. So it's a fairly decent sized unit. You can tell by my hand there. Let's see if I can find something. This is my camera. This will give you an idea about the size. It's big, but it's not humongous, and it is nice to have that extra power kick to it. 1500 volt amps and 900 watts will run a lot of stuff. So that's definitely nice to have. It is nice to have the pure sine wave inverter on it, so you can feel secure plugging in your laptops, your desktops, whatever into it, even your computer stuff, your ham radio stuff, and you won't have a problem with it. So all in all, looks pretty good. We're going to give it a little test run under my desk before I actually transfer everything over and see how well it performs. I want to see if it has any kind of RF noise when I turn it on and off. We'll keep it under there for a day or two and see how it works. Then I will plug in my radio gear to it and see how that goes from there. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. The link will be down below if you're interested in picking up one of these. It does have 2 batteries in it, okay? 2 9 amp hour batteries, okay? And that's what gives you your 1500 volt amp capacity. So you will have 2 batteries in there. They usually last, these are lead acid batteries, so they'll usually last anywhere from 2 to 3 years, maybe 5 years if you're lucky, if you don't abuse them. My general rule of thumb with these is when the power goes out, you use it bare minimum, just to keep everything going, and then you find an alternate solution for your power. Mine would be a power station. Yeah, great, my radios are working. I just signed off talking to somebody. Hey, the power went out. Let me go get something. I go get this. I unplug my radio from it. I plug it into my power station. Okay, I'm back on the air. You don't want to run the battery down below 40% really, if you can avoid it. And really what they are for is for instantaneous kind of keeping you up with your computer running, just enough to shut it down so you don't lose any work. So all in all, definitely a nice little value. Definitely cheaper than some of the other units I've seen. I saw one at Walmart recently that was like a 400 watt unit that was close to 120 bucks. I'm like, wow, that's nuts. So I'm definitely glad there's options out there for us to take a look at. And it seems to be doing its job pretty well, so I'm pleased with it. Obviously did its job right there on video. Now we'll run a lot more than these 2 devices. I just did that for demonstration's sake. But so definitely don't be concerned about plugging in up to 900 watts of devices in there. Now remember, the heavier stuff you plug in, the more stuff you plug in, the quicker you're going to drain that battery. So that's something to consider. With how long it's going to run. Let's say I have a scanner and a dual band radio, and I plug it in there. I could probably go a couple hours. But if I have 2 computers, a scanner and a dual band radio, yeah, that's not going to last too long. So remember, you are dependent on your battery, and it is not getting charged when the power is off. It's simply providing your AC current. Anyway, folks, like I said, the link will be down below. Underneath that, you can check out our Amazon affiliate store if you're interested in picking up some stuff from our store. We have our freeze-dried wholesalers link. It is going to be a new month here, so you can go and get yourself some 15% discount using my link, using that link down there. Like I said before in previous videos, if you can't afford to pick up freeze-dried wholesale stuff, that's fine. Go to the store, buy canned goods, buy yourself some pasta, some beans, some rice. I have videos on even how to pack that stuff up long term. I want people to get prepared. I'm not, sitting here just saying, oh, you have to buy this or you're going to die. I always hated videos that were like that. If you don't buy this knife, you'll die in the woods. No. There are other ways to do things, but I do like to give you guys the option, if you are interested in freeze-dried food, with freeze-dried wholesalers giving us a 15% discount for my subscribers just by using that link. Below that is our My Patriot Supply link. That's preparewithiridium.com, preparewithiridium.com, and our Thrive Life freeze-dried food store below that. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.